have so much new makeup here in front of me and all of it is very exciting. I can't wait to try this all out with you. Like, this is gonna be a little bit of a try on style haul. We're gonna just put a bunch of this on my face and see if it's good. So let's get into it. Right, one of the things that I'm very excited about is that the Lethal Cosmetics and Avatar The Last Airbender collection finally came to my door. I spent some time trying to get this collection. I mean, it was stressful. I think I spent like 3 hours trying to get into a queue, or like 2 hours trying to get into the queue, and then I was in the queue and then the queue kind of like had some sort of error, I don't know, technical difficulties, and then I got back in the queue. It was, I don't even know how to describe it, but I think it was worth it. Alright, we're gonna just start with that. I bought a bunch of things from that collection. Let's start with one of the lipsticks that I got, or this is the only lipstick that I got from the collection. So I decided to get the Avatar The Last Airbender Ty Lee lipstick. This was the most like neutral-esque, neutral-ish lipstick from this collection, and the box this comes in, it's so cute. I really like this box. You open it up like this and then your lipstick is inside. It really looks like this collector's piece. I love how they did this, and I think overall the thing that really gets me with this collection is the attention to detail, and just you see that they have gone further than they had to. This collection doesn't feel like a cash grab. Everything is just so well thought out. The actual bullet of this lipstick is just absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, feels super luxurious. It has this kind of like raised pattern. This looks amazing. I kind of want to keep it in a box and like put it somewhere where I can stare at it all day because this is beautiful. The actual color of the lipstick, by the way, there's also embossing on the lipstick itself. The actual color of the lipstick, it kind of looks like this reddish pink nudish shade, and that is something that's really up my alley. So I think this is gonna be like a good choice. I think this is gonna be the right one for me. It seems kind of like sheer-ish, creamy. Just gonna apply it on the lips. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit. Right, usually I don't start with the lips, but there's just so much to try. Okay, feels quite thin, quite satiny, comfortable, but not like the most like, well, it feels kind of balmy, but it's not kind of like in its smeary way. I think this feels and looks pretty nice. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of a lip liner to give you like the options, the idea, like what can you do with this. And I got another shade of the Catrice Plumping lip liners. I love the one in Queen Vibes, so I just got another shade. I already reviewed this formula, I think. Yeah, I think I just reviewed the formula, but this is an amazing formula. I really like it and it's very affordable. And did I tell you what shade it was? This one is 060 Cheers to Life. So we're just gonna apply a bit for the structure. And I feel like that's looking really nice. I mean, it's looking a little crazy because I don't have any other makeup on right now, but I really like the look of that. I like the kind of like natural flush that this is giving, and I really like the shade. Now I want to move on to eyeshadow because I feel like we might be getting some fallout. Like, we have some really like sparkly shades. So I actually got 3 of the palettes from the collection. I first wanted to pick up only 2, but then when I was finally able to place my order, I was like, okay, I'm not going back in. Like, I'm gonna order now what I want and that's gonna be it. And I also kind of wanted to make it really worth my while. So my favorite from the start, when I saw the video from Lethal where they showed everything that was gonna be in the collection, I thought that the water palette like looked amazing, and this one was just my favorite. By the way, the outer packaging is just absolutely beautiful. I feel like it's a very much truly on theme with the series. I feel like sometimes things have this packaging where it's very like merch-esque, but this doesn't feel like merch. It really feels like this homage, this tribute to the series. So I get very excited about that. If you hadn't noticed, if I didn't tell you, I really love Avatar The Last Airbender. It's like one of my favorite shows of all time. So this color story is just absolutely beautiful. It has some kind of like neutralish options elements in there, but also a lot of blue. This first shade, the light blue shimmer, like this was the first shade that I swatched just now, and it looks absolutely amazing. There is also some holographic shades in here. Okay, listen. When I started swatching this palette, I just got so happy, and I was also like, is all Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow nowadays this formula? Because then I want more and I want everything. This swatched so good. This swatched like the most amazing indie quality, sparkly, shifty, juicy eyeshadow. I cannot even convey it, but the swatches of these are so good. And just with every shade, I was like, wow, I was shocked. I was shocked at how good this looked. Then we also have the Air palette. The only palette that I didn't pick up was the Fire, because I am not gonna wear those shades. But the Air palette, it kind of gives me like this mix of cool tones and warm tones. You can get like a pretty purplish look. I think you can get a pretty cool tone look, but then we have some pops, and this just is a very interesting color story. It looks very cute, and just it kind of is like a pastel palette without there really being a lot of pastels in here, but it just gave me those like soft, airy vibes. And this also just swatched amazingly. The shade Yip Yip is so impactful. And then the one that I put in my cart last minute is the Earth palette. So this is the kind of like murky green palette. I am not someone who wears a lot of murky greens. It's not my shade, but I feel like there's still a lot for me to do here. There is still a lot of options. Like this green is kind of like neutral to cool, and this green also pretty on the cool side. I feel like these reddish browns I'm really gonna like. And then this shade Metal Bending was so beautiful in the swatch. It has kind of like this grayish to greenish duo multi-chrome, and it looks amazing. So there's still a lot of shades in here that I would wear. It's just that these two olives I am gonna use sparingly, but I feel like it's still gonna be a palette that I'm really gonna enjoy. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. I wanna put everything on my eyes. Let's start with some eyeshadow primer though. Okay, I think I'm gonna start out with the Air palette. I feel kind of bad picking something because I kind of want to use everything. I'm gonna, I think, start out with the shade Glider from the Air palette, and then we're gonna go from there. I am gonna do some tutorials with the palettes, I think, over on Instagram. I have kind of set this goal for myself. I want to do more tutorials on Instagram. And I like posting them on Instagram a little better than YouTube, because on YouTube I feel like I'm always just cutting things short because they only give you a minute, and sometimes it's just not enough. Okay, that looks really nice. It's a little deeper than I thought, but at the same time it's the exact same shade as it is in the pan, so I was just thinking it was gonna be a bit more soft than the browns in the other palettes. I feel like today is really gonna be this trust the process kind of day. Like, I'm gonna look crazy for a while. Okay, but that is blending really nicely. I tried Lethal Cosmetics a few years ago, and it was when they still had like their first formula, like their old formula. Their kind of basic, not bad, but kind of basic formula, and since then I haven't really tried them again. I bought a few singles, I think, like a year later, but I kind of forgot about them. So it was about time. It seemed like the perfect opportunity. I want to go into this blue shade over here, and I want to put that more like in the inner part of the crease. I'm gonna take a little bit more of a precise brush. This looks like such a beautiful blue. That is so stunning, like a true bright sky blue. That is looking so good. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Sky Bison. I'm gonna use that to blend out the deeper brown a little. Usually I'm not this fancy, but trying to use some more shades. That is going really nicely. I feel like this look is gonna very much match my top. I did not intend that, okay? I have to pick a shimmer, but I kind of don't want to. I think I'm gonna go for Yip Yip. I think this is gonna be like a crazy shade. It's super like glittery, chunky feeling. So let's see how this is actually gonna look on the eye and if this is gonna go like fall over all over my face. I'm taking a little bit and kind of like pressing that on. Okay, that is actually going beautifully. That didn't go anywhere and that is gorgeous. It feels quite sticky, but in a good way, like it's sticking to the eye. Okay, Lethal is officially blowing my mind. I am actually kind of weirdly proud of them for doing so much to grow. Like they were never a bad brand, but they've done so much to become like maybe even one of the best. I'm gonna use a shimmer from the water palette. I'm gonna go for this one, the Agnaquela. Agnaquela? Am I missing something? I don't know what that means. Like, even if I absolutely love a show or a movie, I can very easily forget details. But it's kind of nice because sometimes you just want to watch something like you've never really seen it before. Like, of course, I remember the big twists, but sometimes you just want to watch something again. And usually when I watch my favorite movies or series again, I can really enjoy it. Like, I'm not feeling like I've seen this. Okay, that is absolutely gorgeous. This is one of the most next level eye looks I think I've ever done. Like, this is something. I feel like I need a little bit more blending. So shimmery. Okay, I'm gonna use a shade from the Air palette as my inner corner. I'm gonna use this shade, the one in Moon Peach. And this looks kind of like a duochrome champagne to kind of like silvery champagne. That is gorgeous. I'm just gonna use the browns that I used in my crease here on the bottom. Okay, let's do one shade from the Earth palette. I'm like shuffling through this like it's a deck of cards. I'm gonna go with the Homage shade. And I'm gonna use it as a liner. And it is more of a reddish brown. I think that's gonna be so beautiful as a crease shade for a very kind of like smoky brown look. I'm not doing a shimmer on the lash line because there's so much going on with this look, but I think this is absolutely out of this world stunning. It's just, these formulas look amazing on the eye. Alright, it's some mascara and brows. It's starting to look a little bit more like a makeup look, but we need to get started on this face. Okay, I bought a concealer. So I've been kind of on this journey. I've been talking about it for base products. I used to never really wear concealer, never really wear skin tints, foundations. Now I'm kind of like looking for some things that I really like in case I want to wear something like this. So this is the Bare With Me Concealer Serum from NYX. And I never knew, but this has tremella mushroom in it. So I don't know what that does, but there's mushrooms in here and this is the shade Fair. I just was like, I'm gonna start with the lighter shade and then we'll see. Like, we'll go from there. I'm just gonna pump a little bit on my hand and we're just gonna apply that underneath the eye. I'm just gonna work that into my brush a little. And let's see, maybe it's a little light. I think it's a little light. Not too light for under the eye, but I think if I would want to use this on other places on my face, maybe I would have to go a shade up. Let's just see how this blends. I thought I only took a little, but it's turning out to be looking like quite a lot. I did just the tiniest pump actually. Kind of regretting my life decisions. And this concealer is also looking a little crazy. Yeah, I think now it's kind of like I need some time. Some time is needed for this to be worked into my skin. kind of like sink into my skin. I don't feel like it's looking perfect, but it's looking quite good. It's also about the wear, of course. Like, is this gonna wear well? Gonna blend this a little again. Yeah, I don't feel like this is sitting on my skin amazingly. Like, from afar it looks good, and we're gonna see how it's gonna wear, but I don't feel like this is amazing so far. But it could also be that this shade is a little light, just looking a little streaky. All right, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna like check back in a little bit to see how it's kind of like settled on the skin. The next thing that I bought is actually from GlossGods. So I bought the new Cloud bronzer in the shade On Cloud 9, and this is their first powder bronzer product. It's described to be very innovative, like nothing you've ever tried before. I think it's a really interesting product. Would I have bought this if I wasn't into GlossGods as a whole? I don't think so. Like, if this was a brand that I wasn't super into, I probably would have skipped this because it's a little weird. First thing is that the actual pan is quite small, and then there's all this cardboard around it, and I don't really understand it. For me, it's like, then just make it very small. Are you trying to make people think that it's bigger than it is? I don't really understand. By the way, this is 3.5 grams of product, and for example the Nava skin bronzing has 6.5. So there is actually not that much product in here. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of this. I also bought the brush that comes with it, and this brush is kind of like this pointy domed kind of smaller brush. I think this looks really good. I can totally see myself applying bronzer or blush with that. It's looking really good. And then they also revamped their liquid bronzers and liquid blushes, and I've been kind of curious about these. I was thinking maybe I should try them. Maybe this is something for me. I mean, I love it when indie brands do things outside of eyeshadow. Like, it's a thing that everybody likes to do, but non-eyeshadow products can also be really fun. I don't know if I'm gonna use these two today though. By the way, I have the bronzer in You Are Thoughtful, and this is kind of like a neutralish lighter shade. It has kind of like an olivey vibe to it. Like, in some lights it looks a little green. And then I have the blush in Lover. This is a light kind of like baby pink. We're just gonna start out with the Cloud bronzer, and this looks pretty deep in the pan, but then when you swatch it, it is very kind of like lightly pigmented. And yeah, they sell the brush with this bronzer, so I'm just gonna go in with that brush and see if I like it with that brush. All right, so it's very much like this kind of, I don't know, skin-like product, lightly pigmented. I don't think you can go overboard easily with this product, and it has really like this, yeah, skin-like finish. It's not very glowy or anything. I was feeling kind of scared when I first opened this bronzer, but now I'm kind of like, you load the brush up and then not much actually ends up on your face. It's very much like this easy to blend, low effort kind of product, but in a way also it does cost you effort if you want a very bronzed look. Like, this is so subtle. It's so subtle. I'm trying to build it up a little, and that is looking quite good. But yeah, I am going in. I like the brush. The brush is really nice. I don't know, maybe it's more for when I'm a little bit more fair, or maybe I should have gotten the deeper shade. But usually I am the lightest shade in a lot of things. I don't know about this yet. Like, it blends really easily, but it's also because it's so incredibly lightly pigmented. Like, I feel like I could just apply this all over my face, like a setting powder almost. It's a very, very interesting product. It's kind of like this cream to powder feel almost, and it is so lightly pigmented, and it kind of looks like your skin. I think that this would be a nice one if you want really like no makeup. You don't even want people to see that you're wearing a bronzer, but you do want to look slightly more bronze, and this could be the thing. By the way, I totally forgot I have another eye product that I wanted to try. So I also got the Avatar The Last Airbender and Lethal Cosmetics Sokka Glitter Gel. And this says over here, it's the quenchiest. And this packaging, once again, is absolutely beautiful. I love Sokka as well. Like when you open it up with different pattern like inside, it's so cool. And then we have the little glitter gel. It's kind of like blue to green to purple. It looks really, really cute. Like it's a small container. I'd never tried these glitter gels before, so I thought, this could be my chance. It is a very, very like cooling jelly, very liquidy. I'm just gonna take a little bit with my finger, and I'm just gonna put a little bit over here on my eye, where one usually applies eyeshadow. Okay, that is looking very cool. That is actually not as crazy, but like in a good way. Not as crazy chunky as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting for this to be basically unwearable, but I actually really like how that is looking. And it's also not like lifting up the eyeshadow underneath. Like I was kind of scared that it was just gonna create bald spots underneath, but it's looking really nice. Okay, I'm convinced, I think. Should let this dry. I should not move my eyelids too much. Like, can you see? It's just like we have some iridescent flakes. We have some blue, purple, and green. Like, of course, there's already a lot going on with the eyeshadow, but I actually really, really like it. I never bought those. Not that I have had them for such a long time, but I never bought those because I thought those were gonna be like unwearably chunky, but I don't feel like that. All right, while this dries, I'm just gonna show you what else I bought, what else we're gonna use. So it's weird to talk while trying to not fully open my eyes. So these are the new Huda Beauty blushes. These are the blush filter, and I got shades Cotton Candy and Strawberry Cream. So these are the two more pinky, cool tone ones. The packaging of these is really cute, and I just like saw so many like positive reviews about these, so many people raving about these, saying that these were so easy to blend, and I got pretty curious. I got excited, so I am just gonna apply these. These are supposed to be like, with these you're supposed to be able to blend these basically with your eyes closed. I don't know about that, but I'm just gonna apply a few dots first of Strawberry Cream, and I'm just gonna use a bronzer brush because it's not like there's so many pigment right now on that brush. These do smell very strongly of like Strawberry Cream. Like the scent is there. Okay, they have kind of like a glow. The color of this is beautiful. It does seem quite filtered on the skin. Like it's kind of like satiny, blurry. Okay, that was quite easy to do. Maybe I could have used a little less, but that blended out very easily. Should I put a little bit, like, should I do Cotton Candy on the other side? I think I'm gonna do that. So the lighter pink, I think this is gonna be the easiest one to blend. I'm sorry, by the way, if you hear any background noise, my neighbors are in front of my house. Okay, this is looking really nice. This is so easy to blend. This just seamlessly becomes one with my skin. I think that's gonna be my favorite because it's so easy. That's really nice, but both of them are looking really good right now. Just look at that glow, but it's not looking like weird or patchy or unflattering. Like it's just looking very beautiful. This is a glowy product that actually is blurry, and I love it. I don't feel like we see that a lot. I'm gonna make this look a little even by applying a little bit of Strawberry Cream over here. I just wanted to kind of mix. Yeah, I don't feel like you kind of get these patches or weird things that are staying behind where you apply the blush. This is so cute. Okay, I'm a big fan. I feel like we're having a lot of good makeup in this video. I think this is as even as I'm gonna make it. Like, it's not exactly the same, but we're accepting it. Okay, next up we have another Avatar The Last Airbender product. I think this is the last one I have to try. So this is the pressed highlighter, and this is the White Lotus pressed highlighter. This one is like the Uncle Iroh highlight, and I should have made some jasmine tea, but it's a bit too late in the day for me to be drinking green tea. But I love Uncle Iroh, and just all the references to tea. I love tea. So this looks absolutely beautiful, and this is a very This is a very like shifty, shimmery highlight, very kind of iridescent. It has a bright pink sheen to it. I actually did some comparison swatches because there were some highlights that I immediately thought of when I saw this, and I was kind of like, do I maybe have this? Do I maybe own this already? And then I did some swatches next to, first up, the Space Glam highlighter by Catrice. This one seems a lot more muted, and the base seems more prominent. This one, it has a certain similar vibe, but when you see them next to each other, the Lethal is much more bright and vibrant. And I feel the same with the Essence Harley Quinn highlighter. This also made me think of it. When you see it in the pan, it could be similar, and it is kind of, but it's also not. Like, this is also more muted. You see more of that base, and I feel like the Avatar one is just so much more like see-through in the base. I feel like this is gonna work across a wide range of skin tones. Okay, I'm gonna pick up a little bit because this is a little bit of a like chunky highlighter in a way. Like, I don't think it's really gonna look chunky on the face, but when you kind of like go to swatch it or pick it up, it's kind of chunky. That is really beautiful, but yes, very bright. It's a little subtle in a way. Like, it's not super glittery in my opinion. I thought this was gonna be really glittery, but it's not chunky or anything. Like, there is some slight shimmer going on. It's kind of like this shimmer veil kind of situation, and that is something that I do enjoy. I feel like for me this is almost a bit more like a blush topper because it is so vibrantly pink. Like, I see the vibrance here the most. Like, this is so vibrant. Here you kind of see a little bit more of the light pinky goldy shift. So it really depends how the light hits it. But that looks absolutely beautiful. It's really one where you kind of have to take your time to blend it out and to kind of smooth out the formula, because this formula in the pan, it kind of becomes a little like chunky. It kind of sticks together a bit, but then when you smooth it out, it's looking really smooth on the skin. And I was honestly thinking this was gonna be super like chunky shimmery, but I feel like it's not really. I wouldn't be too scared of it. Okay, I'm gonna blend it in with the blush a little. I'm very impressed with that highlighter and the blushes. I have one more lip product to try. It feels a little bit like overkill, like there's so many products in this video. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvet, and I got one of the new shades. So this is the shade Rosy Mauve. I do have to say it looks a little scary. It looks a little bit like this is gonna be too deep for me in the packaging, and then even when I swatched it, it looked even deeper. So I hope this is gonna be my shade. Things can easily pull very dark on me. Alright, so I've heard really good things about this formula, and I hope I'm gonna like it. But this is really like a test. Am I gonna like it as much as other people do? I feel like there's a lot of potential here. Like, it feels really good, and I really like it. It looks really blurred. Like, the way it looks on the lips, I don't feel like it looks like a dead flat matte, and that was kind of what I was afraid of. Like, it looks flattering and smooth. I could see myself wearing this. I think I like the shade. I think it's not too much, but it's a little bit on a deeper side. Let me add a little bit of lip liner and see how that looks. I think I'm into this. think I like it. I'm gonna see how it wears. I do feel like the look is missing something. Like that bronzer was so subtle and my makeup, like the rest of my makeup, is not subtle. It feels a little out of balance. Maybe I should apply a little bit of this, but maybe also that is gonna ruin the makeup. I'm a little unsure. I'm gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand and then take a brush. Gonna work that into the brush. And let's apply a little on the forehead. I have a feeling this is not gonna be my shade. This is very warm. But at least it's a nice formula and it blends on beautifully. Seems easy to use. Okay, maybe it's not too bad. It looks good. I'm gonna take a little more. This is like the never-ending video. I just keep trying things. Just working it into my hand again, or into my brush. Just taking a little over here and over here. And on the chin, on the nose. Is this looking better or is this looking crazier? So this is gonna be the finished look. This is how it all came together. And I think it's time for a quick assessment. So, the Lethal Cosmetics collection, I don't think I have anything bad to say about. I loved everything from this collection. The GlossGods Cosmetics Cloud Bronzer, I will have to see how I like to wear it because that is very, very subtle. The liquid bronzer seems a little warm for me, but it was easy to use. The Huda blushes, so far so good. I thought they blended really beautifully and they were very blurring on the skin. Easy to use. The ABH Lippy is looking very nice. I can definitely see myself wearing this, but it's a little bit more of a statement lip then maybe I'm gonna wear on the everyday. We're gonna see. Maybe I'll buy another shade if I really love it. The concealer, I don't feel like it's sitting on my under eyes really nicely. It looks a little weird. It looks a little flaky. Maybe the shade could have been a little better, but usually I don't really have this issue with my other concealers, even though they're also a little bit lighter than my skin tone. And then that's gonna be everything for this look. I think it all came together beautifully. I really like how it's looking in the end. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!